Good day, everybody, and welcome to yet another episode of Schoolboy Rugby Bonanza. With me again in the studio is, of course, Mr. Rugby Bonanza himself, the founder of Schoolboy Rugby Bonanza. How are you, Louis?
Good afternoon, Steve. Good afternoon to the viewers. I am very well. I'm very happy to be here. It's going to be a very interesting show after what we've seen over the weekend. So let's see what we will discuss and see what we think about it.
Of course, we are focusing on two main things. First of all, the results of this weekend, and then, of course, our future match. I believe you and our cameraman Von went to attend the game, Randburg versus Randpark.
Yes, we did. We were there from the morning, from the first game, right until after the first team. Um, what an absolute blast. It was beautiful. The weather was fantastic. And the Randburg moms, as we know, oh, they did not disappoint one bit. So it was a good day.
Oh, that's amazing. Of course, if you want to see more of it, we also have uploaded the short videos of that rugby day and the various matches that took place, and it's of course available on our YouTube channel, Global Rugby Bonanza. We've just changed the name of our channel from Schoolboy Rugby Bonanza to Global Rugby Bonanza because our focus is not only on schoolboy rugby, it's on global school rugby. So you can catch it all on our Global School Rugby Bonanza. And if you haven't subscribed yet, please subscribe. But right, let's get cracking and let's get into the main things. And this is, of course, the results of this weekend's games. And
unfortunately, we are going to have some interesting discussions regarding this because a few very upsetting results. But we will get into that now. Right. So in no particular order. So let's start us off here. Dale versus Grey High, 24-12. Durbanville versus Sax. Now that's an interesting one. 23-18.
yes.
Pearson.
Yeah.
Selborne.
Two Cape Townian teams, two teams from the Western Cape, tackling each other.
Yes.
And they're very good. Of course, Durbanville is actually in the top 20 in South Africa. I think according to the latest ranking, I saw they're 17th, if I'm not 17 or 18th, if I'm not mistaken. And we also had an interview with the coach of Durbanville. Isn't it correct, at the North-South tournament, Louis?
Yes, we did. And you see also, I think during that tournament, it was for them to basically sort out their team for the rest of the season. So, and it seems that worked. So, I'm expecting and hoping that we will get some more good results from them as the season goes on.
Absolutely. They will also, of course, be at the Wilderklawe tournament, which is also a prestige tournament where your top teams, your top schools in South Africa competes at, and they will also be there.
Yeah. So, all right, then Pearson, Selborne, 25. Westville, Northwood. Now, this is also a very close game. It could have probably gone either way if there was more time, I think. I just saw the highlights, and I think if there was a bit more time, maybe Northwood could have sneaked in a victory. But both teams played very well. So, and from what I saw, it was a very entertaining game. So that was very good. Now, look again, Outeniqua. They are really going into a different gear. They, as far as I know, they haven't lost a game
absolutely
as yet this season. So again,
They were
34-24.
also at the yeah. They were
Yeah.
also yeah.
No,
They were
go
also
on.
at the North-South tournament.
Yes.
They were also at the North-South tournament where they
Mm.
also played pretty
Mm.
attractive rugby. So
Mm.
definitely one of the up and coming schools that's going to feature. I believe it's going to feature in the top 20 or close to the top 20 at the end of the year.
I would I would not be surprised if they sneak into the top 20 at the end of this year. So we
Yeah,
must keep an eye out for that one. Now look at this
absolutely.
one.
Yeah, incredible game.
Um, our Giant Slayers of last year and Paul Boys, 13 all. Um, actually, I'm very happy I didn't watch this game. So,
Yeah, of course, Oakdale last year have beaten the Paul teams.
yes,
I think both
correct,
of them. So
correct.
this was one of the matches to look forward to of the weekend,
Mm,
and a draw against one of your top 10 schools. Although Oakdale's also, I think they're 13th or 14th, they're just outside of the top 10. So that is a cracking result for Oakdale.
mm, yeah. And this is also a very interesting result.
Mm,
Randburg,
yeah,
Rondebosch,
two super teams of the
27-17.
Western Cape.
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
right. I do not actually want to talk about the next one.
So yeah, that's harsh. Yeah, it's Affy's second big defeat. They first lost against Paul Roos, the Stellenbosch team, the SA champs. Also, it was a convincing defeat. And
Yeah,
now at home, what a thumping they got against Paul Gim. So
yeah,
I'm not quite sure what's going on in an Affy's outfit, but there's definitely a couple of things that needs to be sorted out there.
yeah.
It's been two heavy
But
defeats in 2 weeks.
yeah, two weeks, two defeats and heavy defeats, right?
Yeah.
Um, it I don't know, maybe from what I saw that maybe these teams are starting to see where the holes are in the defense of Afis and they
Mm.
exploited that. So, um, but it is what it is. There's nothing we can do. And then,
Because the reality
mm,
is, Louis, is that gone are the days where your top five schools are dominating and the rest of the schools are just
yeah,
following.
yeah,
Schoolboy rugby in South Africa is pretty professional, and
yeah,
the schools have caught up with one another. And nowadays, any of the top 100 teams can give each other a good go. And it's an absolute fact that your other schools are starting to believe, and it's a trend, and it's a fact. If you start to believe that you can beat the big schools, then there's no turning back. And the other schools have now realized that they can beat the top schools.
yeah,
The schools, the Stellenbergs, the Oakdales, the Outeniquas. And we're going
yeah,
to see more and more interesting and shocking result this year. I know it for a fact.
yeah,
And now it's the race for the top 10 is wide open.
yeah. And you see, just to elaborate on that. And this is what is making it a little bit more exciting that you don't like in previous years, okay,
Yes.
this school 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. You can literally name them year after year and you would be correct. Now,
Yeah.
now it's like, oh dear, who's going to be number one? Who's going to be number 10? We don't know. Because although the season is young, but look what has happened in the last couple of weeks.
Incredible.
And then,
It's amazing. It
yeah,
makes it
then the
so
Joburg
exciting to watch,
Derby.
and it makes you
Hmm,
absolutely look forward.
hmm. Then the Joburg Derby. Now this,
Yeah.
another
Yeah.
one I
JP.
was actually, as I said in the previous show, that I would hope Kes would win. Unfortunately, they fell short. So, um, but I saw the highlights because I was at the Randpark game. I saw the highlights of
Yeah.
this game. Wow, Steve. Wow, wow, wow. And the crowd, the atmosphere, it was beyond electric because these are two neighboring schools, right? So,
Yeah.
and then the last one on this page also very,
If I can, sorry, if I can just elaborate on the JP
mm,
case game. I'm sorry to interrupt you there.
yes.
This was, of course, JP's fourth consecutive victory over Case. So four times in a row. And my good friend Dan Rousseau actually pointed it out that this was Case's fourth defeat against JP in the past 4 years.
Wow.
Um, JP, of course, are 15th in South Africa, but our case is just outside. I think they're just inside the top 50. So it was a very, but yeah, it's JP's
That is
win number four.
interesting.
The
Mm.
streak is now 4-0.
Wow. That, oh dear. Oh dear. That is not good, right? And another one that really penetrates
Mm,
very hard, our newer giant slayers,
yeah,
Stellenbosch.
Stellenberg. What can we say about Stellenberg? They're an absolute revelation of this
Wow.
year. The talk of the town,
Yeah,
absolutely incredible.
yeah.
Third now in South Africa, and watch them. They are making a serious claim for the number one spot. They've beaten last year's number one team, 2010. Absolute incredible.
Mm, yeah. And again, I only saw the highlights due to
Yeah.
I was at uh, Randpark. But very interesting. In the first half, Paul Roos really had the upper hand, and they played beautiful, scored a beautiful try. And I thought, okay, this is going to be a massacre like they did with Affis the week before.
Yeah.
And suddenly, just out of nowhere, Stellenberg just clawed their way back. And whatever Paul Roos did, Stellenberg had an answer.
Wow.
Yeah, yeah.
Wow.
So
Yeah, it's incredible.
very, very good result. Very surprising result.
The
So,
amazing thing about Stellenberg also is that they don't buy their players.
yeah.
According to the headmaster I've read in the newspaper, is that they don't buy their players. They attract top players from the primary schools, and then they
Mm,
they build they build them up. So no, none of their players, as he claims to, is has been bought. It's all basically products from the primary school, the top
mm,
primary schools in the area, and they
mm.
basically have built them up. So absolutely incredible coaching and incredible work that's been done in the structures at Stellenberg High.
Oh,
And
yes. Oh,
huge credit must go to the coaching staff, the headmaster, and yeah, the staff of Stellenberg High.
no, definitely. Now we come to some of the other schools as well. Westville, Northwood, 35, 29. Maritzburg College, Glenwood,
Yeah,
33, 13. And here, this is also an interesting result. Queen's College, 27, Sterling, 17.
sure.
And Pearson, Selborne. Okay. And now, look here. Graham College, Port Rex, 48,
Yeah, we had
10.
an we had an interview with Graham College's coach earlier in the year. You can actually catch it. It's one of our first. I think it's episode 8, I believe. But you can have a look at that episode where we had an
Yes,
interview with Graham College.
yes.
School of only 350 pupils, but they are one of the top teams in the Eastern Cape.
Yes,
Absolute top teams, very competitive.
yes. And then now this is also a very interesting one. Framesby, 36, Daniel Pienaar, 28. Now, it seems
Yeah,
Framesby, although they are one of the smaller schools, but they are really
yeah,
starting to build something. They've been starting to play with momentum. Um,
yes,
it's last week they won, and the week before they won as well. And so,
Wow.
Daniel Pienaar, this is now the first game in I think 3 matches that they've lost.
Okay.
This is why this is such an interesting result. So
Yeah.
we spoke about Grey High and Dale. Then
Yeah.
now this is another very interesting result. Nico Milan,
Yeah.
because Nico Milan 2 weeks ago played against Daniel Pienaar, and
Yeah.
Daniel Pienaar won. It was a very close game, and Nico Milan win one, lost one, win one, lost one. But now it seems they are starting to build momentum, which is actually very good.
Yeah. Well, they've had a bit of an up and down season. I
Hmm.
think they also lost against Otaniqua, wasn't it? 45-0 at the beginning
Yes,
of the year.
understand.
And
I
so they've been up and down. But the thing
Yeah,
with Nico Milan also is they're definitely one of your top competitive schools. They were also at the Noordside tournament, and
yes,
they really proved that they are really a team that can contend against the best.
correct.
So it's just that at this stage they just need to get a little bit more consistency and need to get a bit of a higher gear and
Yeah,
sort out the problems so they can get a bit
yes,
more consistency in their
correct.
season.
And then Hudson Park and Cambridge, 36-12. Um, Cambridge, unfortunately, um, so far this season, they've lost all their games. So
So
um, it's actually, I really hope that during the course of the rest of the season that that they will get a few wins. That would actually very encourage them for next year. We'll
absolutely,
keep an eye on that and then see how their season progresses, right?
absolutely, absolutely, yeah,
Now, Diamantveld, Dynaveld, 36-0. Up. Now, this is also the next one. Rustenburg and Potchefstroom.
yeah, yeah. Heavy
Because,
defeat
yeah, because Rustenburg was at the St. John's Festival and
and Noordside.
Noordside, correct. And Potchefstroom, they weren't invited to any of the festivals, unfortunately. Um, so I think this is a huge result for Rustenburg.
Yeah,
Um, and now we come to another interesting one, a very low scoring game, Pretoria Boys High versus Parktown,
mm,
14-3. Very
yeah.
interesting. Very
Yeah,
interesting.
of course, Pretoria Boys also had their own Easter festival,
Yes.
um, which they also played very creditable. Sorry, my tongue. But yeah, but we all know how competitive Pretoria Boys High is,
Yeah,
and Parktown is also no slouches.
correct.
Also, not a team that you can underestimate. So that's a
Correct.
very low scoring, competitive, a typical classic hard
Oh,
game.
yes, I agree with you 100%. Then, now this is also a very interesting result. Transvalia 38, Aldersgate 31.
Mm, yeah. Alderaan is also a team that's hovering just outside the top 80s. They normally hovers between 80th and 90th in South Africa.
Mhm.
Transvaal is also a very competitive team. And of course, Alderaan, we actually went to that. That was actually the very first game that we actually promoted was the Randburg against Alderaan.
Yes,
And they, which Alderaan won pretty convincingly, and that's where we saw how competitive Alderaan is. So that's a very good home victory for Transvalia.
yes, correct. And then Kempton Park, Petra Tiff 34-31. Oh, that would have been a very nice game to be watching,
Yeah,
I think.
very exciting. Absolutely.
And then HTS Middelburg and Ege Jansen. Now, this is also an interesting result.
Yeah, both of the teams were at the Noordside tournament.
Yes, correct.
That was
Yes,
one of
yes,
the games. HTS Middelburg's one game we actually covered at the Noordside that they actually played on the Saturday that we
yes,
went.
correct, correct,
It was, if
correct.
I can remember, but it was a very, very close scoring game. And HTS Middelburg
Yes,
is a very exciting team. So
yeah,
that's a very good result. Ege Jansen, of course, we all know it needs no introduction. And they're also a team that's well inside the top 100. So definitely that's a good result for them.
yeah. And then Menlo Park was Moot,
Yeah,
64-12. That
that's a
speaks
bit of a hiding.
for itself. Now, now, we also spoke to the coach of was
Middelburg.
Heidelberg at Noordside.
Yes, I remember.
Yes, 40, Ben Foster 40. A very interesting result. Hmm. And look at the last one here. Swartkop
Yeah,
38,
Swartkop.
Marais Viljoen 12.
Swartkop is definitely a team that's also making a bit of a surge.
Yes,
They also just outside the top 50. Very, very competitive nowadays. They are really emerging as one of your up and coming top schools in the Blue Ball province.
yes,
Of course, they were also at the Noordside tournament, invited,
yes,
and rightfully so, because they are really, really making a surge and playing some exciting rugby,
yeah.
some good results. And I will say, watch out for Swartkop in the next 3 years. They can very well be a team that's going to be a top 20 contender in South African rugby.
Yes, I
For
also believe so. And also, going back to the Noordside tournament, they actually had a very good tournament and a successful tournament.
Yeah, they
So,
sure did. Absolutely.
yeah, so no, this is very exciting to see your smaller schools are stepping up to the plate, um, because it gives them that opportunity to compete against
Yeah,
bigger schools and to show where they are. So,
absolutely.
and I think that is a very good thing. Even if they
Absolutely.
against the big schools, it doesn't matter whatever the score might be, but that they can see, all right, we lost. Why did we lose? And they can better
Yes.
and better, and maybe in a few years' time, they can pull one over on the big schools.
Oh, yeah. As I said, the gap is definitely shrinking, and we are really, it's incredible to be alive in South Africa, watching school rugby in a time like this, to see how school rugby is absolutely growing from strength to strength. It's incredible.
Yeah. So here we've spoken about a few of the results here, but now the one that stands out here, Waterkloof,
Uh,
Nelspruit. Now, Nelspruit was at St. John's as well, and they
yes.
played on the Saturday when we attended.
Yeah.
And Steve, in the beginning, it was like they are struggling to get going. But when the second half came, and maybe the coach gave them some harsh words, I don't know. But the second half, they really went through the gears and they stepped up and they really, really, really brought the game. So
Mhm.
I think with the right motivation, with the right coaching, with the right players,
Hmm.
I think they can in the future also be a force to be reckoned with.
One needs to remember that Nelspruit is your top school in Mpumalanga, or one of the top
Yes,
three schools in Mpumalanga. And
correct.
Waterkloof is one of your giants in the Blue Ball province and
Mm.
in the Northern Transvaal province. They're also inside the top 20, Waterkloof. I think that the latest ranking I saw, they were 18th or 19th.
Oh wow.
So Waterkloof, definitely, no slouches. And that's a heavy scoring match. If you think about it, 103 points in 70 minutes. That's more than a point and a half per minute, Louis. That is absolutely
Yeah, that
incredible
is
rugby.
yeah.
I'm relieved I didn't do the match fix for that game because
No,
myself
no.
with my 32 minutes, 32 typing words per minute would have struggled to keep up with that game.
Yeah, no, definitely. Um, uh, but we will get to the big reveal in a second. Um, so, as most of the people know, we went to Randburg versus Randpark. Now,
Yeah,
um, out of from under 14, under 15, under 16A, and second team and the first team, it was only the under 15A team, if I remember correctly, from Randpark
yeah,
that won. All the other matches they lost, right? But when I spoke to the second team's coach,
Orchid Blitz.
yes, Orchid, we know him quite well.
Yeah,
I asked him, you know, are you guys discouraged that you lost most of your games? And he said, actually, no. And I also asked him, does he hope this would be a permanent fixture in the future? And he
yeah,
said, yes. And towards the more global showpiece of schoolboy rugby, and especially in Joburg, where we are with these two schools, this would really become a derby as well, another Joburg derby.
absolutely,
Um,
absolutely.
so, kudos to Randpark for bringing the game. Um, do not take anything away from them. They standout players, especially from the first team. Their lock, number 4 lock, their inside center and outside center, the center pairing really played very good rugby. And the lock, wow, Steve, that man is tall and he's huge. Every time he got the ball, we got close to the line, but Randburg's defense was really very good. And um, I'm very happy for them that they won because they didn't have a very good Easter festival. So it's a very good result for them and to see, and
Mm,
let's hope that they can build from this. Um,
yeah.
and it was
Well, the
nice.
thing is with Randburg, if I can just quite quickly cut
Yeah.
in, sorry, Louis. The thing with Randburg
Oh,
is
no.
they are ranked. If there's a sizable gap between Randburg and Randpark on the rankings. Randburg is ranked 91st in South Africa, where Randpark is ranked 150th. So you can actually see the gap between them with this
Yes.
result 68-5. But
Yes.
take nothing away from Randpark, to
No.
be ranked inside the top 200 in South Africa is a huge achievement. We're
Mm.
talking about probably well over 1,000 schools that plays rugby in South Africa. There's a heck of a lot of schools that doesn't even have a ranking. So for
Yes.
Randpark to be ranked inside the top 200 it's a commendable performance, and to be ranked inside the top 100 is also even better.
Yes.
And Randburg seriously needed that victory, and they needed a good, convincing victory to sharpen their confidence and to really get back on track and to really see if they can't move themselves up into the 80th, 70, because that's actually where you want to be. And of course, that interview you had with the second team coach, Orchid Brits, is also available. It's about a minute long. It's
Yeah.
also a minute and a half. It's also available on our YouTube channel, Global School Rugby Bonanza. So you can
Yes.
catch that interview on our YouTube channel, Global School Rugby Bonanza.
And you see also, I spoke to not just him, but I bumped into one or two of the other coaches of Randburg. And now this is something I want to touch on as well. And I think this is probably one of the main reasons why we started this journey.
Mm,
Because Randpark, for the under 16s, they only have a 16A side. They don't have enough players to have a 16B side. And they
yeah,
only have two open teams. The second team
yeah,
played the first game. That was very
yeah,
interesting. And And eventually when I did my investigation, let's call it that, they told me they don't even have a third team, not
Sure.
even a 16B team. And
Yeah.
but although they are an English school, we know that your boys' school, your English boys' schools, yes, like Jeppe, Kes, St. John's, St. Stithians, all these schools, Pretoria Boys High, because they have so many boys, they can have so many teams. But for a school like Randpark that doesn't even have enough players for a 16B side, well done on them. Kudos on them
Yeah.
for also being within the top 200. And,
Yes.
it would be something that I will cherish if we can really help these schools to develop rugby and bring out
Absolutely.
players and more teams when they go play the other schools.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
So these are the results of the weekend. As everyone knows, that we were at this game, and Steve, it was fantastic. A beautiful day, scorching day, but
Yeah.
the crowd was lovely. Typical your Randburg crowd, as we know from back in our days. Um, and I spoke to our legend scout. I said to him at one stage, because the moms were sitting and they were going crazy. And I said to Vaughan, you know what? Maybe what the schools must do, ask the moms to be the rugby coaches. Oh my word, the boys will have no chance. So
Yeah.
yeah, so that is basically a wrap. And also, just to let the viewers in on something that we are working behind the scenes, that we are busy creating something that we want all the viewers and all the people on our different platforms to be part of. Steve, if you don't mind, I'm just going to give them a quick peek that from
No
now
problem.
on going forward, the viewers and the people on our platforms can start to build their own SA schools team, whether big schools, whether small schools, we don't care. And we want them to put in all the positions and send the teams through to us on our Facebook page, on our YouTube, Instagram, even TikTok, and give us a reason why you want these players in. So I think this will be something interesting for our viewers and our people on our different platforms to play around with. I'm going to definitely do this and see if I'm correct or not.
Wow. Awesome. Great stuff. Right. Another amazing weekend.
Yeah.
Some incredible results. Of course, for me, the revelation of this year has to be Stellenberg. I can't be more outspoken about the amazing results they have brought forward, and they are absolute. The teams, the team, the school on the horizon, incredible. It's absolutely mind blowing. Everybody is talking about them. The social medias have almost exploded
Oh, social media
through
is
the
my frenzy.
from the comments and the views. It's absolutely incredible
Mm,
what Stellenberg is doing, and it's so good for South African school rugby because for years and years it's always been the Paul boys, Paul Roos, Affies, and Great College dominating the scene. But all of a sudden, there's new teams on the block.
yeah.
Garsfontein is there,
Yes.
Stellenberg, Oakdale
Okay.
is there, and don't forget about the Natal boys, Hilton College, Durban College, Westville. They're also there, and they are saying, "Hold on, don't forget about us. We are also coming for the big guns." So
Okay.
another incredible weekend. So the big question is there school rugby on this weekend coming? And the answer is absolutely. And I believe, Louis, you're going to be at Saturday's game. Do you know which game you and the cameraman is
We
going to be at?
we haven't decided. We've basically played around with it. We haven't made a choice,
Yeah.
but what we will do, we will let the people know on our Facebook group and our other social media pages once we've agreed on a game that both of us want to go to, because he wants to go here, I want to go here. So now if we can find a school or two schools that we both want to go to, then we will go. So,
Okay.
so we will have this by the latest on Wednesday, that we will let the people know where we will be.
Awesome. Check our platforms, check our Facebook group for more info and the revelation of where Mr. Schoolboy Bonanza
Will
and
find
Mr. Vaughan is going to
himself.
be at. Unfortunately, I won't be there. I will be in the studio
Yes.
due to work commitments. But I will be keeping an eye, and hopefully I'll be having a match thread or two available of some of the other games.
Right.
So
Thank
we
you.
will wait and see what's going to go there.
Right.
Of course, on Wednesday, our next episode on Wednesday, we're going to have a very interesting interview for you lined up, and it's of course the interview with Paul Boys High's coach.
Yes. Yes.
That is going to be an incredible. I can't wait for that interview, Louis. Paul Boys, of course, were ranked second in South Africa last year. So I would love to hear what is the secret to their recipe for being such a dominant school in so many years. And of course, Paul Boys High is one of your oldest schools in South African rugby, schoolboy rugby. So it's going to be a smashing episode. Please don't miss that episode.
Yeah.
Keep an eye on it.
Yes, definitely.
To all our viewers, we would like to thank you guys once again. We're a growing community. It's incredible, Louis. The last time I checked, we are close to 650 members on Facebook. It just keeps on growing and growing and growing.
Yeah. No, we want to say thank you for the support. Thank you for the love. Thank you for the trust that you guys put into us. And we can only grow from here, and we want to take you with on this journey. And
absolutely,
as Steve and I always say, we do not do this for us. We do it for you, and mainly for schoolboy rugby.
Absolutely. If you haven't joined our Facebook group yet, please join Global School Rugby Bonanza on Facebook. Our YouTube channel is also now the same name, Global School Rugby Bonanza. And then we've also got we're also on TikTok on the Schoolboy Rugby Bonanza, as well as on Instagram on Schoolboy Rugby Bonanza. And then we also have a WhatsApp channel, Schoolboy Rugby Bonanza, that we are also at. So please join our social media platform. Become part of the Bonanza maniacs that is passionate about school rugby and global school rugby.
Yes.
Forget about hawker maniacs, forget about any other maniacs. Become a schoolboy maniac and join our platforms. Of course, as always, we would also like to give a special shout out not only to our members, but also to our people working behind the scenes. A huge shout out to Mr. Anu, the legend, the journalist that's always part of the interviews. You will also, of course, see him on Wednesday, and I can't wait to see him again in action with his
oh dear.
top class questions that he's going to ask the coach. I can't wait to see him once again in action. Of course, Louis' beloved wife, Sarah, for her incredible work behind the scenes with the magazine.
Oh, yes.
And also sorting out our technical issues with the sound. She was the one that supplied the mics. Unfortunately, we had some technical issues, but as always, Sarah, I've always think outside the box and helped us to sort out a couple of things and to improvise a bit. Hopefully, we'll be sorting out those technical problems very soon, and then we can continue as normal.
Yeah.
Of course, a special shout out to our scout and cameraman for Saturday, Vaughan. Incredible. We thank you so much for your work, and he's passionate about schoolboy rugby and passionate helping us. He organizes the interviews for us, and he's always behind the scenes. He helped out with the camera work on Saturday. And then, of course, our other cameraman, Brian, it's awesome. When Vaughn is not on the scene, then Brian is at the scene as a cameraman. Thank you so much for you two's work and for you two and for helping us. Without you, it will be impossible for us to be able to bring this, because you need a cameraman to be able to bring this visuals to the members. Definitely. Also, we would like to thank our fellow admin and leader, Elaine Hogan from Ireland. She's our promoter in Ireland, working behind the scenes with the schools, promoting Schoolboy Bonanza or Global School Rugby Bonanza in Ireland. Thank you so much. And she's also very involved in our Facebook group. Thank you so much, Elaine, for your hard work. And then, of course, we would like to thank all the members. Thank you so much. Without you, we would have no program.
Oh, yes.
I would like to give a special shout out to two of our top members from our YouTube channel, Vian Jansen from Randburg and brother Ivan Jansen from Randburg. Thank you so much for your work. And then, of course, to their dad, Dion Jansen from Randburg, who's going to help me when I go to Cape Town for the inter-schools tournament. Please keep an eye on the 15th of August. I think it's the 15th or the 17th of August, where I will be in Belleville, Belleville for the inter-school tournament. And Dion is going to be helping me there, presenting, playing cameraman. So I can't wait for that. So thank you so much once again for joining us. From myself and Louis, it's goodbye.
Goodbye.